Back in 1932 in Hopewell, New Jersey, something happened that would change everything forever. It was a chilling night on March 1 when the world-renowned aviator Charles Lindbergh and his wife Anne were settling into their home, blissfully unaware that their lives were about to be shattered in ways they could never have imagined. Their infant son, Charles Augustus Lindbergh Jr., was just 20 months old, a cherished boy who represented hope and joy for the couple after their tumultuous rise to fame following Lindbergh's historic transatlantic flight. The child was the embodiment of their dreams and aspirations, a symbol of their love and the bright future they had envisioned together. If you're finding this story as gripping as we do, make sure to subscribe so you never miss another fascinating historical deep dive like this one. As darkness enveloped the home on that fateful evening, an unknown intruder targeted the Lindberghs, executing a meticulously planned kidnapping with cold precision. A crude ladder, hastily constructed yet deliberately placed against the wall of the nursery, provided access to the child's room on the second floor, where he was snatched away into the night without a sound. The ensuing panic horrified not only the Lindbergh family, but gripped the entire nation in a vice of fear and uncertainty. The realization that even America's most celebrated hero could not protect his own child sent tremors through every household across the country. The media descended upon the case with unprecedented fervor, eager for updates and hungry for every detail, creating a whirlwind of hype around the kidnapping that had never been seen before. Authorities launched an extensive search that would become one of the largest manhunts in American history. They scoured the region relentlessly, overwhelmed by tips and theories surrounding the mysterious disappearance, following every lead no matter how insignificant it seemed. Days turned into weeks, and the Lindberghs were crushed under the weight of fear and sorrow, holding out hope for their son's return even as that hope began to dim with each passing day. The ransom note that arrived soon after the kidnapping, demanding $50,000 in specific denominations, added a sinister layer to the unfolding tragedy. The note was riddled with grammatical errors and peculiar spellings that would later become crucial evidence. After painful deliberation and following the advice of intermediaries, the Lindberghs paid the ransom, desperately clinging to the belief that their compliance would bring their beloved son home safely. Before we continue with what happened next, hit that subscribe button below. Trust us, you won't want to miss how this story unfolds. The astounding twist of fate took a dark turn that no one could have predicted. Instead of a return of their son, instead of the joyful reunion they had prayed for day and night, the Lindberghs faced unimaginable grief. 2 months later, on May 12, 1932, the remains of Charles Jr. were discovered in a wooded area not far from their home, partially buried under leaves and debris. The news sent shockwaves across the nation. This was not merely a family tragedy, but a harrowing event that illuminated the vulnerabilities of even the most revered figures in America. The discovery shattered any remaining hope and transformed the case from a kidnapping into a murder investigation. As investigations intensified with renewed urgency and determination, a man named Bruno Richard Hauptmann emerged as the prime suspect after a painstaking investigation that spanned more than 2 years. Hauptmann, a German immigrant who had entered the country illegally, was arrested after police traced the ransom money back to him through meticulous detective work. He had been living in the Bronx, New York, and had a history of petty crime in his native Germany before coming to America seeking a better life. The trial that followed went down in history, becoming one of the first to receive massive media coverage that transformed it into a national spectacle, drawing public sentiment on both sides of the debate about Hauptmann's guilt or innocence. Hauptmann maintained his innocence throughout the proceedings, claiming he had received the money from a friend named Isidor Fish, who had since died and could not corroborate his story. But court evidence, including fingerprints found on the ransom note, wood from the crude ladder that matched wood found in Hauptmann's attic, and the ransom bills discovered hidden in his garage, painted a different picture that seemed to seal his fate. The trial was electric, charged with emotion and drama, with hours upon hours of testimony revealing the family's heart-wrenching story and grappling with themes of fame, loss, and justice that resonated with people across the country. The prosecution painted Hauptmann as an opportunistic monster who capitalized on the Lindberghs' fame and their vulnerability, a man who had committed the unthinkable crime for financial gain without regard for the innocent life he destroyed. Despite the mounting evidence that seemed overwhelming to many observers, the trial exposed fractures in the American legal system and raised troubling questions about the pursuit of justice. Legal battles ensued, leading to endless public debate about justice, reasonable doubt, and whether Hauptmann had received a fair trial amid the media circus. On February 13, 1935, after deliberating for 11 hours, the jury convicted Hauptmann of first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to death. Yet lingering doubts clouded the case even after the verdict. Many people believed he was innocent, a victim to sensationalized media coverage and a desperate legal race for justice that demanded someone pay for this heinous crime. On April 3, 1936, Hauptmann was executed in the electric chair at the New Jersey State Prison, proclaiming his innocence to the very end and maintaining that he had been wrongly convicted. His final words continued to haunt those who questioned whether true justice had been served. Don't forget to subscribe so you can continue exploring more stories like this that shaped American history and continue to fascinate us today. The Lindbergh case transformed the landscape of crime, law enforcement, and media coverage in America in ways that are still felt today. It drummed up a national conversation about the safety of children everywhere, led to increased security measures in homes across the country, and laid the groundwork for modern kidnapping laws, including the Federal Kidnapping Act, which made transporting a kidnapped person across state lines a federal crime. The case left an indelible mark on American society, changing how crimes were investigated, prosecuted, and reported. Even decades later, people still grappled with the haunting legacy of the Lindbergh Baby and the questions that remained unanswered. It was not just a crime that stole a child, it was a saga of fame, loss, and the quest for justice that remains a defining moment in American history. A stark reminder of how tragedy can strike even those who seem untouchable, and how the pursuit of justice can become as complex and troubled as the crime itself. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, subscribe now for more incredible true crime stories from history. We'll see you in the next one.